I'm just excited. I think this I've talked about previously, but like even this whole running career has been a surprise. So it's like,
Mm,
why not? Like, let's just see what we can do. And ultimately, like, why not step up with these women that I've looked up to and just
yeah.
give it what I have and hope for the best.
All right, I've got a photo for you. It's an old photo. Wolfie helped dig up, and I just want to know your initial thought. I'm going to show it to you, and I just want to know what goes through your head as soon as you see this old photo.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's just
good.
like this. I'm always emotional. Now you're 33, you're just like crying at everything. Yeah, it's really funny because that was, gosh, 2018, I think.
Yes, you're right.
That
Yep.
was my first ever trail race. It was like a 10K, and it was at Beaver Creek. It was Xterra. My husband Gil was running, and I was like, I'll just do it. Like, I'm just sitting here, may as well. And it was funny because this is at the time that I didn't really know anything about trail running, so I like got first in my age group. Mind you, there's like probably 10 women in this race, like not competitive. But then I got like a pass to like the Xterra World Champs, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm amazing. I'm going to the World Championship. I didn't end up going, but it was like that, yeah, that first time that because I was so naive, I was like, I'm like freaking good at this
Hmm.
sport. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean that's a gift. Not everybody gets to feel that moment. A lot of us are always looking for that moment. We don't even know it, like that we're good at something.
But I also had no reason to think I was good at that
Yeah,
point.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. You stood on a podium. The only time I've ever stood on a podium was I was chasing my 5-year-old son and trying to get him off of it.
I love
So,
it. I love
yeah.
it.
All right, Brian, take it away.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you went with that picture. Kind of dovetails nicely into what I wanted to dig into. I mean, Hannah, your like entry into the sport's fascinating. Like, I'm a huge fan, stoked on it. It seems like from that 2018 experience at Xterra to Quad Rock in 2020, when you raced with your coach Addie Bracey, who clearly had like good professional results and history. Was that kind of a defining moment where then you did kind of validate that you belonged here, or kind of had potential to keep training seriously? And because I mean, now we're talking about you lining up at CCC after all the accolades Josh said in a very short period of time. So like, yeah, what was going on in 2020 and what did that race mean for you?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So yeah, getting coached by Addie back then, like 2020 was like, oh, I'm gonna race against her and then I'm gonna beat her and then I'm gonna be a pro. And she beat me by like, I don't know, an hour and a half. And I was
Just
like,
40 minutes.
40 minutes. Okay. I was like, man, I still got a long ways to go. Here I was like, oh, I'm doing so good. But I still think it was a good example of like, okay, like we've been working on this, we're getting better. And so I think it was really exciting. I think that was probably the first like true experience racing against a pro. I was really slow to try and race against pros because I didn't want to throw myself against someone and then get completely demolished and then like let my fire die because I just got like blown out of the water. Yeah, I think that was the first time that I was like, okay, like I still have a lot of room to go, but like we are making progress. And so that was really an exciting time. Yeah. And then transitioned, and then here 2022 is racing CCC, having no idea what I was really doing, which is fun. People were like, I think you can win. I was like, well, I don't even know who these people I'm racing. This is my first international race. I barely know what I'm doing, but like, sure. But I think it's just like that stepwise process of putting yourself in more competitive races. And I think for me, it's really important. Similarly with OCC is like, if I'm not racing in these important like races against the best right now, then I have no idea where I'm at. So it's like I could win everything locally, sure, but like then I'm not actually truly testing, am I good at this sport or not? I'm just kind of giving myself, wins that maybe aren't as, meaningful to me at this point. So
Right. But where did all of the talent even come from? Like before, like, so you accidentally joined Xterra's 20K, an age group win, but like, I don't think you even were identifying as a runner before that, right? Just kind of looks like you were hiking around mountains with some girlfriends. You were going through PT schooling. So like, yeah, what was your athletic life before getting into running?
yeah, they tell me now that soccer players are great ultra runners, so that's what I'm gonna say. I did ballet from 3 to 16, and then I did, basketball was probably my biggest love, and then soccer was probably the thing I was most talented at. But yeah, and then I just kind of, I think, lost that. Like, unfortunately, as an adult female, there's not tons of leagues for you to do. but I'm really, really competitive. And so it was like, I just wanted to start. And then it started running with my husband, and he was always faster than me, which is, even though he is a fast male, I'm like, gosh, dang it. I just want to beat you or be faster than you. And so that was just kind of always getting pushed by him, because no matter how hard I train, even now, he'll still beat me up the mountain every single time. And so it's like, you have that innate drive. And then, I think I'm just, competitive. And then ultimately just wanted to see what I could do in this sport. So that was kind of the last little bit. It was like, let's see what we got.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know you talked about your husband a little bit here already in these 10 minutes, but he's a wrestling coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fascinating. I think wrestling has like a lot of similarities with like ultra mentality, right? Like kind of the endurance, right? And pushing through difficult, scenarios and stuff. So like, do you guys ever bounce that around, like handling, like mental, obstacles, and, like, what does he mean for your training? How does he help you guys?
Yeah, he is the ultimate cheerleader for me. Sometimes like he maybe doesn't tell me every day, but he ultimately is always there. He's always going to crew me. He's always going to run with me if I need it. But I think on the wrestling side, I think it's really cool to see him pour something into all of these kids. And I don't know if you guys have ever wrestled, but like being the wife of a wrestling coach, like you're kind of like, come here, I gotta like try this thing, and he like yanks on your head one time. I'm like, how do people do this sport?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, man, ultra running is not as bad as someone just like gripping your hand like as hard as possible. And so I think it gives me a different perspective of, how are these things? But I think ultimately, because he's a coach, he also knows the right things to tell me. We've been together long enough where I'm like, this is a bad moment. He's like, hey, you, this is what you've done. This is how you feel. And we really can like bounce those ideas off. And I think when I'm struggling, he just has the right thing to say from not only a spouse, but like a coach. And, he's also a great competitor. Like he wrestled D1. So he's been there too. It's like, how to kind of get into that athlete mindset when you need to.
Yeah, definitely sounds like it makes like a powerful dynamic. So just to bring it back to UTMB, I know States was like your first 100-mile race, right?
Second.
Second. That's right. So
Yeah.
the preparation and logistics that go into that, it's got to be like exhausting almost, to where you're just ready to race. How excited are you to go do a 50K where there's probably not much at all logistics, and you just like contrast the two? Like, how fun is it to just be able to focus on the running and competitive nature of it without all the baggage of the logistics?
Yeah, Western States itself, and just between the two crews and the extra things,
Right.
and like within training and on race day, and like every coordination is a lot. So I'm really excited. I think I like the 100-mile distance, but it's not my favorite distance. And so it's fun. Like I just love running. And I think that's like the best part about, OCC is like, I can just go out and let it rip for 6 hours, and like, then it's over,
Right.
versus I think sometimes Western States is just such a different mentality of like, you're 6 hours in and you're like, we've got 70 miles to go, baby, so I'm excited to switch that. And, I've mentally too, racing really takes it out of me, especially the long events. And I really just felt like I needed to have a shorter event to just really be able to mentally lock in versus, I would love to do the main UTMB and do CCC again. But I felt like, especially this only being my second 100-miler, I was like not quite ready to like mentally dive back into the zone that I need to when I'm in those long races.
That's awesome. Josh,
Yeah,
you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, I want to ask one last question. As someone who hasn't won anything since the 100-yard dash in 5th grade, I just want to know, I'm always so curious. Like, you're standing at the starting line of OCC, and I wonder if you even think about this in advance. I just want to know what goes through the head of an elite runner. Like, you're standing there. Are you thinking about your plan? Like, to what you just said, the 50K, are you thinking about, okay, I got to do this, or is your mind totally clear at that point? Are you sizing up the competition next to you? Like, what goes through your head?
I think for me, it depends on the race. I have worked really hard on my mental strategy with my sports psych coach. And so we kind of have these mantras or affirmations, and they're different for each of the races that I'm in. But there's always a moment like right before Western. I wasn't really like that, honestly, that nervous for Western, in the sense of like, okay, we're going to ease in and we're going to push. And, the plan that we had for Western, I've been working on for the last 2 months. It's not like it's a surprise or like
Right.
we're just doing new things. We've been doing the thing for months. It's interesting because I was standing next to, Caitlin Pitfielder, and, she looked at me and I looked at her and I was like, good luck. And she grabbed my hand. She's like, are you okay? And I was like, about to cry. I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? So clearly I just cry a lot. But no,
Me too.
I think it's just still comes back to like, you're doing this thing that you really wanted to do. And I think that was with Western. Like, I don't think I was honestly as nervous as I typically would be for an event. Cause I'm like, you're standing on this start line that you literally didn't think you would ever be there or ever in your life. And it's, I think, more for me, the gratitude to be there. And then knowing I'm replaying, for me, I replay the plan in my head, but I also replay the affirmations like, you know what you're doing. We've set yourself up. And so I replay so many positive things and think about all the evidence within my training that is going to get me to where I need to do and perform the way I need to perform. And so I think it's a lot focused on like, I don't really pay attention to the noise around me because it's too much. There's too much noise. And there's so many great competitors, any given day. I truly think on most of these start lines, like Abby had the day of her life at Western. It doesn't mean like there could have been someone else that had the day of their life. And I think when you're starting there, you have to just really go inward, and I have to stay positive because otherwise it's like so much noise coming in. So.
That's awesome. Well, I'll be rooting for you. I'll be in Chamonix, just hanging out, a fly on the wall. I'm much more outgoing on the podcast than I am in person. So, if I see you, I'll probably go hide because I'm shy, but rooting for you. And I'm thankful that you'd give us this time. Let's do this again sometime.
Yeah, anytime. Happy to chat. Clearly I'm a little long-winded, so,
It's great. You are welcome here.